is Noriko Eto, and I was born in Thailand, but my father is Japanese and my mother is Thai. And I was in Thai Japanese and my mother is Thai. And I was in Thai Japanese associate school, which have all of students as Japanese and just a Japanese from grade 1 to grade 9. And then I'm studying in Mahidol University now, but also working as Thai Japanese translator.
Let's question, what is value in your opinion?
I think value to me is faithfulness, right, and punctuality.
And what is the most important value for Japanese?
For most of Japanese, I think they value the harmony and punctuality, and working as a team, something like that.
And how is gender equality in Japanese society? There are feminine or masculine.
It's still a problem because male and female is not equal as Thai. Woman is hard to get like high position in work. Like it's hard for women to be a manager or president of the company, and also in political career too. Like woman is hard to get in like politics.
Attachment to country and Japanese. What do you think about
Attachment to my country, well, that's quite difficult question, but I think it's about national anthem because Japanese, including me, are very proud to have Japanese anthem that have no violent content like talking about war, because we know that Japanese anthem is the only anthem in the world that have no violent content in it. Yeah, I think about Japanese anthem.
the image of ideal family in Japanese society?
In the old day, it was traditional family was like grandparents living with parents and their grandchildren, but nowadays the family size is getting smaller. So the ideal family is like dad, mom, and the children, and dad tend to be the leader of the family because he's a man, and then mother and the children tend to be the follower, and students are expected to have great academic performance and also have some club activities too.
Part of Japanese culture? If yes, how?
Yes, hierarchy is very important. When I was a student, I have to respect my senior and teacher by using polite words when talking to them. And from my working experience, I observed that the worker with lower position have to respect their manager and higher position people.
Is collectivism or individualistic? Why? Example?
Okay, Japanese are extremely collectivism. In school, they assign work to work in group, and even in sports day, everybody have to learn. But like a person who learn very slow also have to learn. Like everyone matters in Japan, and Japanese think that harmony is very important. Like we have to collect, we have to like associate together, and
What do you think about seniority? It is important in Japanese society.
yes, seniority is very valued in Japan because if you're senior, you have more right to say your opinion to others.
What do you think about Japanese value and Thai value? Are they similar or different?
I think the similar points are both Japanese and Thai are collectivism because they like to work in group, and also about seniority, right? Because Thai people also respect elder person too. But the different points, I guess, is the punctuality. Yeah.
After we talk about values, now I want to know more about the communications. How do Japanese people talk to each other? For example, like which topic should avoid when you first met?
Oh, okay. When we first meeting someone, first of all, we have to bow to each other, right, to show respect. Unlike Western people, we usually avoid body contact, like touching. We don't do that. And what is another question?
The topic that
we should avoid. The topic that we should avoid is very personal matters like weight or age or like salary, something like that.
Direct or indirect?
I think they are indirect because they often use non-verbal communication like facial expression or something like that.
Are Japanese confrontational or non-confrontational?
It's related to the seniority matter. If you are senior than others, yes, you can be confrontational sometimes, like saying your opinion in the public. But you should be confrontational if you are less senior than others. Like you have to be humble, and you have to raise your hand before asking questions and given permission.
Is that Japanese high context or low context?
They are very high context. Like we are sensitive, basically. Japanese people are sensitive, so each word you say really matters. You know, you have to think before saying something.
And what about eye contact? Did they make eye contact when they communication with people?
They often use non-verbal communication because they are humble. So sometimes they cannot say what they want to say, so they show through the facial expression or tone of voice or their postures.
And what about eye contact?
Eye contact is very important, but you have to use eye contact. In Japan, you have to use eye contact when talking to senior or to like friends or something. But when you're apologizing, you shouldn't make eye contact in Japan. Yeah.
Have a level of language, like when in Thailand, when we talk to a royal family or seniority, we have a level of language. Like we will not use the normal language that we talk to our friends or family.
About the loyal words, we don't have in Japan, but we do have polite words when talking to senior person or teachers, and we also have business words like when you're writing a business letters or something, we have to use business words too.
The most important things in there for Japanese.
Well, because I'm living in Thailand, so I'm not very sure about the new media they use in Japan, but my Japanese friends have like blog called Mixi. It's like Japanese Facebook, and only Japanese playing that, and there are only Japanese and no English in that website.
Do you think it's the factor that makes Japanese not speaking English?
Yes, most Japanese can't speak English very well, but I honestly, I don't know why, because my father always taught me that English is important, and he can speak English too, but I think it's because the medical words or business words are all translated in Japanese already. So, unlike Thailand, in Thailand, when you study medicine or studying like BBA, you still use English textbook, even if the lecture is in Thai. But in Japan, we translated all those vocabulary into Japanese. So that's why I think Japanese people cannot learn English very well.
I got a lot of information from you. Thank you very much for your participation.